At 23, Amora fled her quiet riverside community with nothing but a small bag and a wounded heart. The elders had sealed her fate. She was to marry a royal prince she had never seen, a union arranged for tradition, not love. On a rain-soaked night, she boarded a bus to Lagos, choosing the uncertainty of the city over a life decided for her. Lagos was loud and unforgiving. Hunger found her quickly. Hope did not. One evening, exhausted and trembling beneath a flickering streetlight, a calm voice asked if she was all right. The man was Deo, gentle-eyed, simply dressed, with a kindness that felt rare. He offered her shelter, no questions, no demands. Desperation taught her to trust. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. They shared meals, laughter, and quiet dreams. Deo never forced anything, he listened. Amora healed. Love grew softly, real and unafraid. She never asked about his past, and he never spoke of it. One evening, Deo told her he was ready to return home, to claim a responsibility he could no longer avoid. He asked her to come with him. To be his wife. When they arrived, the truth shattered the air like thunder. Deo was Prince Adewale, the very man Amora had run from. The palace erupted. Elders protested. Threats of dethronement echoed through the halls, but the prince stood firm. I chose her freely, he said. And she chose me, without knowing my crown. The king listened. The people saw love untouched by power. Tradition bent where destiny stood tall. Amora became queen not by force, but by fate fulfilled. And Adewale ruled not by fear, but by love that had already proven itself, without a crown. 1 year later, the drums that once celebrated their union did not fall silent, they only changed their rhythm. As dawn broke over the palace rooftops, Amora sat alone before a bronze mirror, fingers trembling beneath layers of coral beads and silk. The crown on her head was heavy, not just with gold, but with expectation. In the quiet halls of the palace, whispers followed her like shadows. She is not royal by blood, she ran from tradition, she bewitched the prince. Smiles greeted her in public, but behind them lived sharp eyes and colder hearts. Adeyemi felt it too. The council that had bowed to love now tested it. Each decision was questioned. Each command delayed. Elders who once praised destiny now spoke endlessly of protocol. They watched Amora closely, waiting for her to fail, and fail she almost did. The famine came quietly, rains refused the earth. Crops withered. Markets emptied. The people cried out, not to the throne, but against it. Fingers pointed toward the palace, toward the queen who was not meant to be. One night, Amora overheard the truth. A senior elder, one who had opposed her from the beginning, had ordered the royal storehouses locked. Grain meant for the people was hidden away, so hunger would turn the kingdom against her. A throne reclaimed through chaos, her first instinct was to run. The old fear returned, the same fear that once pushed her onto the road before dawn. But as she stood on the palace balcony, looking down at the city that now called her queen, something inside her hardened into resolve. She did not flee. At first light, Amora walked alone into the royal square. No crown, no guards, only truth. She spoke to the people not as a ruler, but as a woman who had known hunger, fear, and exile. She reminded them she had once slept under open skies and survived on kindness. She promised that if the kingdom fell, she would fall with it. Then she did the unthinkable. She ordered the storehouses opened. Against the council's command, grain poured into the streets. Mothers wept. Men knelt. The people roared, not in anger, but in loyalty. The elders could no longer deny what the crowd had already chosen. When the traitor was exposed and stripped of his title, the palace finally grew quiet. That night, Adeyemi took Amora's hands and bowed, not as a prince to a queen, but as a man to the woman who had saved his people. You were born royal, he said softly. The crown only found you late. Amora looked out at the kingdom, no longer a place she had fled from, but a home she had fought for, and for the first time since the drums spoke her fate, she smiled without fear.